Hello there. My name is Angelica. You must be my Scorpio. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you might be my favorite sign of the zodiac, and I don't say that lightly. So, let's begin. But before we do you consent to being recorded? This entire meeting is going to be recorded for clerical purposes. It's only for in-office use. Okay. And also, do you consent to having your photo taken? It's for our database so we can compile a dossier of what each zodiac sign looks like and see if there's any physical traits that reveal what zodiac sign is which one just by looking at them. I know sometimes the Scorpio is very much just kind of like, don't look at me. But once again, it's for bureaucratic reasons, but you can also say no, of course, if you don't feel 100% comfortable. Okay, that's fine. I won't take a photo. So, in that case, let's begin with your metaphysical examination, shall we? Let me put on these gloves, so outstretch your hands for me, please. I'm going to just use it so that way you don't touch other zodiac signs' energies, that they might have touched other objects. I know you would appreciate that. Just a sense of, don't let me be around other people, they suck. So, I'm going to be putting on some lotions that we have a soft grip on the zodiac sign or on your metaphysical evaluation. So let's begin. You are a water sign. You are someone who is very emotionally in-depth, very intuitive. You practically have mind-reading abilities. You're someone who feels very, very deeply. You're someone who can just look at someone, weigh them, judge them, and you prefer to be behind a wall with like a slit where you can look at other people, but they can't look at you. Even though you are a water sign, you very much are like that one photo of a faucet being turned on and fire coming out, because unlike a Pisces where if they are hurt, they tend to cry a lot about it, and they tend to be in this sort of mental thought loop, mind funk of, well, I don't know what happened, because they run off of vibe so much. And where a Cancer is someone who is very much just like constantly crying when they're hurt, but then they snap and they want to kill the person. It's very water-like of them. You, on the other hand, you will feel very deeply, much like they do, but you will bide your time and plot out your revenge. You won't act on emotional impulse. You will avoid that and very much just sort of weigh your decisions to see what is the most damaging, effective, and heavy outcome of your attack against someone who's wronged you. So that's why you can sometimes be considered very fiery in your element. Your symbol is the scorpion. So essentially, as we already covered, you are someone who's very guarded. You want to have the wall with a slit in front of it. You have a shell. And not only that, but you also have your pincers. So when someone does do you wrong, you can very much just kind of grab at them and pinch at them. But even more so, where they're focused on these claws, you have your tail that curls through the back and stabs them with your poison. Very, very accurate metaphor for what it is that you do when you feel like you've been wronged or when someone is trying to wrong you. You will battle them and try to distract them with some sort of upfront means, whether it be a sense of passive aggression or a sense of aloofness. But in reality, the works behind you are what you're trying to poison them with, whether it be a direct attack or whether it be a mental warfare. As for your stones include the ruby, the garnet, the chameleon, and the black pearl. I like that. Now, the meanings behind these stones include supporting your inner faith and courage needed to face the world. You're someone who tends to find a lot of meaning when it comes to political activism, or when it comes to very, in-depth social philosophies, whether it be a will to go against the authority or establishment present, whether it be a will to face off with opposing philosophies that you highly find grating to who you are as a person. Your sense of identity really comes from a sense of trying to fight or rage against the machine. It'll also help you balance your sexual drive, because you are someone who is very intense. You are someone who really tries anything once, and the more debased it is, the more like raunchy it is, the more you just salivate over it. Literally, it's something that's definitely a key indicator of you. It's something that you just have when you're in the moment, when you're in an intimate moment with someone. There's literally nothing off the table. These stones will help you also to keep your feet on the ground, because you are so intuitive, much like other water signs, and you are so emotionally full of depth. You will oftentimes find yourself in a thought loop of society, and you will find yourself suffering from paranoia, jealousy, insecurities that'll just loop in your mind over and over and over and over, isolating you more and more and more, removing you from reality, just kind of completely zoning you out. So in order to avoid these sort of thought loops where you kind of lose touch, these stones will help you to kind of recenter yourself and remain within reality. It'll also help grant a sense of calmness and solace in troubled times. So whenever you feel like you've been wronged, especially by someone you love, or whenever you feel like your trust has been broken, you will be completely consumed by this pain, and all you will think about is how to exact an even harsher blow to whoever it was that exacted this pain onto you. So during troubled times, it is always nice to have that breath of levity to kind of clear up those darker storms, so that way you recognize that it doesn't ultimately matter what this person does. It matters what you do in life, and that if you consume yourself with this passion, if you consume yourself with this deed or this thought or this obsessive pattern over this person, you're ultimately going to start wasting life being so driven by other people. As for your plants, flowers, trees, and all that jazz, an assistant's going to be coming in very soon, so I'm going to preface that when they open the door. Your plants, fruits, trees, and shrubs are the root vegetables, black poppy, hemlock, ivy reed. Your colors are the black is black, blood red, charcoal gray. So these colors do very much embody your comfort colors. These are the colors that make you feel more at home. They're the colors that make you feel most understood. Black being that of a very deep sense of understanding of your more darker elements, of your dark, really in-depth nature. Blood red being that of your passion, and charcoal gray being that of your more stoic, default, or natural state. Now, as for your superpower, because every zodiac sign is endowed with their own strengths and weaknesses, as a Scorpio, your superpower is the empathic weather manipulation. Weather, and this one's a little bit of the old hooey, I guess. But weather is controlled by emotions. This power can be dangerous if the user is unaware of its potency. So I guess like Storm from X-Men. The intensity you supply is awe-inspiring, Scorpio. You can defeat opponents through pure emotional expression. What a thought, huh? Actually, that's very much true. So the intensity you supply is awe-inspiring. You can defeat opponents through pure emotional expression. Yeah, that is very much accurate. You definitely are someone where just through your emotions, each word you cast is a blow against the other person's sense of confidence, their sense of esteem. You really do have the capacity to make someone feel like an absolute villain or a complete hero, either way. This expression helps you manipulate situations to your liking. One of your traits, whether for good or bad, is that you are highly manipulative, because you are a very good reader, because you are very intuitive, because you're very emotionally deep. You know how to manipulate a situation to your liking. This is especially true when you're working towards an important goal. If you're unaware of this gift, however, it can easily turn into a curse. In order to hone this ability properly, you must connect to your inner world and motives. Otherwise, there is the potential for wielding negative energy, which comes in the form of unconscious manipulation. When you utilize this form of manipulation, you're tapping into low vibrations. To avoid this, harness your emotions productively and gain a greater understanding of the potent energy at play. So, as stated, you are someone who is filled with a lot of raw passion. So if you are aware of it, and if you have your philosophies already lined up, if you already have your core values already lined up, then you very much can use this raw passion as a tool to carve away at your goals. However, if you feel like you're a little bit spread out, this negative energy, or this energy, this raw passion, will translate to the negative, and you'll ultimately be wielding it like a knife carelessly, and you might end up cutting yourself. Now, as for your physical examination, let's embark upon that. As a Scorpio, your organs, the organs that rule you, the planet that rules you is Pluto, and that's the, well, let me specify it accurately because the definition in mind is that of darkness. It's that of the, I would say the planet of darkness, Pluto, zodiac, significance. Okay, let's see. So let's see. Pluto brings to mind purging, exercising, and releasing buried power or core truths. That's a better way to define it. It's the planet of creative destruction, and transits can feel like extended ordeals. Look for a zodiac sign. Okay, true. Okay, so essentially, your zodiac, your Pluto, because you are ruled by Pluto, that is your main dominant planet in your chart. You are definitely going to be someone who's trying to look for what is hidden, look for what people are trying to hide, and you are someone who wants to destroy anything that doesn't really have meaning to it. Any BS, you are the first to want to see its destruction, so that way you can create something, so that way something can be created there that's better. So as for your organs that rule you are the reproductive system, of course, your sexual organs, your genitals, your nose, your blood, and your bowels. For this physical examination, we're only going to be examining your nose, your bowels, and your blood in your heart. So I'm going to be just quickly asking you to take a couple of deep breaths as we examine these different facets, and then I'll just do a quick exam on your nose to see how it's functioning. So let's see. For your bowels, I'm going to go down here and just see where I can feel it. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick little exam right here. Don't mind me. Okay, now for your heart, your blood. Okay, we're gonna just do here, take a deep breath, and out. Perfect. Now I'm gonna be doing a quick exam on your nose to make sure that everything is doing fine. So bring your face a little bit closer. I'm just going to be examining your nose very quickly just to see how it's doing, what kind of nose shape you have, how that indicates a personality for you. For example, someone who has a hooked nose tends to be someone who's very intelligent, someone who tends to take on a more independent role. That could be in a position of leadership. It could be in a position of like being a sage. If someone has a nose like mine, just kind of straight and small, you tend to be someone who's a little more soft, demure, someone who tends to be a little more like a gopher. If you have a nose very much like a Nixon nose, you're someone who will cut throats to get into positions of power. You are someone who is very much emotionally unattached. So let's see what kind of nose. Let's see a quick examination of your nose. Okay. I see that your nose doesn't really have any porous feel to it. Interesting. Do you drink a lot of water? Excellent. Your nose shape is hooked, which is a very beautiful shape. That's honestly my favorite shape. And As stated before, it means that you're a very intelligent person, very independent, and you have a lot of capacity or capability of being a leader. Now, for the psychological exam, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, 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 close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, right here, right here, right here, can you feel this right here? Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. I want you to picture a scene with water in it. Water. And as you picture this scene, I want you to get more and more detailed with this image in your mind. I want you to picture what the scene smells like, what the color palette is, what is going on, if there's any people present. I want you to really get a better and fuller image in your mind. And once you get this deeper, fuller image, I want you to emotionally connect with this image. I want you to deeply emotionally connect with the image in your mind. Allow yourself to really feel this image into your heart and allow it to flow within you. Now, when it comes to breaking down the significance of this image inside your mind, if you pictured a scene with water from corner to corner, it means that you are consumed by emotions. It means that your entire identity is that of being an emotional person. This isn't necessarily bad. If you pictured a scene where the waters were calm, it means that right now you are at ease, you are at peace, and you are in a sense of calm and relaxation with your current self. You are in an emotional state of serenity. However, if you pictured a more turbulent water, if you pictured more of a storm, especially like a rainstorm or a storm within an ocean, or between those two, it means that your emotional self is highly chaotic. It means that you are being overwhelmed and overconsumed with your emotions, and you don't quite know how to handle them. They feel overwhelming, they feel overpowering, and you just feel stuck within them. Now, if you pictured a tsunami, then that means that you are really gearing up to release your Scorpio, which is the tail about to unleash itself. You are coming forward with that energy of punching through. When if you pictured a hurricane, it means that right now you feel very you're trying to push away people. You're very much trying to create a lot of distance between yourself and the world. You're trying to push people away, essentially. You're just a powerhouse for trying to remain isolated. If you pictured a cup of water, it means that you probably have a lot of earth in your chart, and you have a very good hold on your emotions, and it's pretty much just locked within boundaries, locked within a sense of organization. If you pictured a puddle of water, it means that you have more of a childlike aspect to your emotions. You still consider them to be fun, but they don't necessarily overpower you, and you might have a lot of air or earth in your chart. So, with that reading in mind, I'm going to do a oracle reading for you now. This is going to be a 3-card spread. The first card is for your foundations. The second card is for your transition, and the third card is for your conclusions, your conclusion state. So I want you to continue to keep your eyes closed. I want you to keep your eyes closed. And as you emotionally connect with this image, I want you to just feel out before you any card that really calls out to you, whichever one feels like it's an emotional attraction to you, whichever one really feels like it has energy for you, whichever one feels like it's calling out for you. Take as much time as you want, take as little time as you want, whichever one really gives you a sense of energy, you just pick it and then pluck it away. Excellent. 1 card down, 2 more. Excellent. 2 card down. 3 cards. Okay, perfect. Let's examine this then. I'm going to put these cards away. put these cards away, and then I'm going to begin your reading. So, organizing these in the state or in the manner that you chose them. Your first card is Andy Warhol. So, for your life quote, eat dessert before dinner. Try not to bite into the venom that is routine or that is a schedule. You are someone who is governed highly by water. You are someone who runs to the beat of their own drum. You are a rule breaker. You are someone who defies conventions and defies expectations. Conforming to a routine or conforming to society's rules will ultimately feel like poison to you, and it won't feel natural. You'll feel very much self-destructive in that state, or very numbed if you end up sedating yourself during your pain. As for work ethic, give your 15 minutes some time. As for a state of fame, you are someone who tends to avoid a state of fame. You are someone who tends to avoid any sort of notoriety or any sort of making yourself into any sort of spectacle. However, your 15 minutes represents the 15 minutes that you have of someone actually seeing you and understanding you on your terms, to your own pace. So when I say 15 minutes of time, give your 15 minutes some time. Give the person who's giving you that attention, give the person who's giving you that love genuinely, after you've proven their trust, after you've proven their loyalty, some time. Give them some time to continue to prove themselves, so that way they continue to love you the way that every person should be loved. And as for your inspiration, wanting can be better than having. Sometimes what it is that you desire, whether it be self-destruction, of course, or whether it be a person, whether it be a lost flame, whether it be a heartbreak, whether it be a lost friend, whether it be a goal, a pursuit, a passion, oftentimes wanting that pursuit, wanting that is already lost or that was never had, is better than having it. Because if you have it, it'll ultimately feel like ash in your mouth. Especially as a water sign, you tend to have this very highly romanticized and idealistic perception of the world around you, and unless you've been heartbroken over and over again, or unless you've had that idealism crushed out of you, that tends to be your default. So when it comes to whatever matter you undertake, ultimately you do suffer from it being disappointing. As for your transitional card, excellent, you got Caravaggio. Let's see what this states. For your life quote, try to keep violence metaphorical. As a Scorpio, you are very prone to violence and to very destructive habits. You will violently attack people, and you will very much use violent rhetoric to get your point across, and you often think about violence. So try to keep it metaphorical for legal reasons, and also for self-preservation and the preservation of others' reasons. As for the work ethic of Caravaggio, adjust your eyes to the darkness. Don't allow yourself to conform or... Oh, thank you. I thought it was a fly, but no, it's my assistant. She's coming through. So as for the perceptions of other people's, or as for the ideal that you wish, oftentimes, especially as a woman, but men can also fall prey to it in a workplace, you will try to find this sense of ideal. You will try to bite into the hallmark ideal. You will try to conform to give yourself a sense of peace and become someone that you don't authentically feel is true to you. If you're someone you are someone who is very deeply emotional. You are someone who's so full of intuition, introspection. You constantly are analyzing what is hidden and buried away, and oftentimes the things that are hidden and buried away are very dark, and these are the concepts that fascinate you, because it really is what connects you with other people. It's just analyzing and parsing away that which is dark and hidden, and making sure that reality is raw and real. So when you try to conform to a workplace expectation of, oh, I'm such a good worker, or here, let me just try to get all of my, matters handled, let me present myself in a very palatable way, let me be the stellar example of a church or a workplace, or of a marriage, or of a relationship, or of a friendship, or whatever, you will ultimately be splitting yourself away from who you are, and thus starting to completely lose touch of who you are. As for your inspiration, a head on the shoulders is worth 2 on the hand. A head on the shoulders is worth 2 in the hand. So before you go off trying to take back revenge or trying to cut away at people who hurt you, try to stay mentally clear, try to stay rational, try to stay present, try to use your mind, try to use your headspace to remain as clear as possible, because the moment you lose your head, no matter how many people you end up hurting back who betrayed you, no matter how many people you exact revenge from, ultimately you will never feel satisfied. So it's better to get that head on your shoulders. As for your conclusion state, after you practice, a sense of trust, a sense of losing your violent streak, and an acceptance of your darkness, your conclusion state, I quite like this for you. It's very much metaphorical. This is kind of your image. It's just a wise man, like a Jesus Christ figure. It's very much like this entity that is at peace, neutral, detached from the material world, and completely dedicated to that which is spiritual and real. That is very much a strong outcome for you, like a sage or a hermit or a mystic. Those are concepts that very much suit you. For your life quote, one man's outbreak is another man's breakthrough. So where someone else might break when confronted with the realities of life, or someone else might break when faced with with that which is hidden, that to you is your freedom. That to you is what will make you feel liberated, is the constant examination and the constant state of feeling raw and real and facing that which other people cannot. As for your work ethic, know your perspective. So when it comes to who you are, what your principles are, what your morals are, you aren't someone who will be easily swayed or influenced by the opinions of others, but in order to placate them, because they might convince you that you are someone who's very dark or violent or whatever, you will try to conform once again to that manufactured ideal of what they want for you, and you will ultimately lose yourself in that respect, where you are a very dark person, you are someone who will exact revenge. However, it is best in your case to do it for yourself, to not succumb to that violent streak, and to embrace that darkness, because it is what liberates you. It is what makes you feel most whole. But make sure that you know your perspective, so that way you don't get an identity loss. Make sure that you know your perspective, so that way you know what direction to go to that is the most healthy and beneficial for you. As for your inspiration, as it states right here, apocalypse then. Can you see it? Apocalypse doesn't mean a fiery destruction. It means the end. It just means to end. So, you are obsessed with that which ends, that which is reborn, that which is destroyed, so that way the ashes can create something new and better and more vital and full of energy. So, with that in knowledge, in your conclusion state, you're going to want to seek out those elements, those very raw, real, hidden, subtle, buried, and disguised elements, to bring them forward and perhaps even creatively destroy them, so that way something better can take their place. So, with that reading taking place, how do you feel about this exam and the read? Did you like it? Cool. Very nice. Now, do you have any questions for me? Very well. In that case, I'm going to remove your gloves. And I hope you have a great